All right, good morning. It's about 6 a.m. and today I'm gonna try to run 50 miles. It's getting to be later in October, getting a little chilly, in the low 40s, I think, to start the day. So got the warm weather gear on, not gonna be moving super fast, so want to stay warm and hopefully it'll warm up a little bit later on, but honestly don't think it's supposed to a ton. So let's get to it. All right, so about 4 miles in and feeling solid. Already ditched the warm gear by mile like 2. I wasn't sure how I'd feel, how warm, and also wasn't sure if it was going to rain at all, so had the rain jacket on. Ended up didn't really need it at all, but that's fine. I'll drop it off at the car in a few miles. I'm doing a 10-mile loop, so I'm going to do that 5 times, which makes it nice. Lets me stop at my car every 10 miles to take a little break, sit down, fill up my waters, stuff like that. And putting it out here right now, the goal for the 50 miles is 12 hours. I hear something in the woods right there. I can't really see anything to my right because of the light from the camera, but just gonna keep chugging along and I'll share some more of my strategy and what I'm doing throughout the day. All right, just finished the first 10-mile loop. Stopped at my car, refilled my waters, and dropped off my rain jacket and hat and stuff. And back at it. Got another loop here, a little section on the road going down this hill. And I would say I'm feeling decent. The end of that first loop was feeling a little bit harder than I wanted it to. I wasn't struggling cardio wise, I just feel like my legs were getting tired. But sitting down helped for a few minutes. I feel better now. And just gonna keep chugging along one step at a time. I'm a 14-mile mark now and hit the first 10 miles, including my break at the car, in pretty much 2 hours exactly. So theoretically, a few deer over there. Theoretically, that's about 10 hours total if I can continue that pace, which I think 10 hours is kind of my stretch goal, but I think that's definitely going to be a stretch. Definitely have to see how these next 15 or so miles feel. Oh, hey baby, little deer. And after that, I think from miles 30 to 40, Alexis should be joining me. So that should be good. And then I'll have the last 10 miles on my own, I think. Just about back to the car, finishing up mile 20, take a few minute break again, and then get back out there. Just starting lap number 3. So just over 20 miles in, and my watch is just about to tick over to 4 hours elapsed. So doing good on time so far. I think these next 2 laps are where it's going to get really hard, and then I'm hoping the last one I'll just be able to power through, since I'm like, oh, this is the last one. But we'll see how that plan goes. So just crossed the 25-mile mark, halfway there, at around 4 hours 53 or 54 minutes, I think. So just under 10-hour pace. Obviously the second half is going to be a lot more difficult, so we'll see if I can keep up this pace or similar, but would love to get it in under 10 hours for sure. But like I said, the main goal is to finish under 12 hours. This is by far the furthest I've ever ran, or will, after a mile or two more. Did first marathon back in May, about 5 months ago, and that was in 5 hours 5 minutes. So this marathon, to start off this run, is going to be about the same pace as that marathon, and that was a road marathon with less than half of the elevation that I'm doing here. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I mean, we'll see how the second half goes and how well I can keep up the pace. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we're at 28 miles, a little bit over that. So we've got about 2 miles left to the car, and we should be picking up Alexis and see if she wants to do the whole 10 miles with us, with me. And it's been getting tough for sure. I would say my calves getting really tight, and I guess like my chest getting a little tight and uncomfortable, but still moving decently well. Should still be able to get to the 30-mile mark under 6 hours, which I'll be very happy about. And last 20 miles going to be really tough, but all I can do is just keep going one step at a time. Definitely the furthest I've ever run at once, so that's an achievement in and of itself. And my original plan for my run at this time of year was I was planning to do a 50K trail race down in Cincinnati, but for a variety of reasons decided not to do that. And then I was thinking, no, I can just run 50K on that same weekend of the race. And then I thought, well, I've done a marathon, done a 25-mile trail race with lots of vert. I mean, I'm sure a 50K will be difficult, but I think I was confident before that I could complete it. And so I said, well, might as well up the stakes in the challenge a little bit and just shoot for 50 miles. So I'm almost at 50K. I think 50K is right around 31 miles, so getting close there to checking that box, but the big goal here is 50 miles today. For some reason I decided to leave my phone in the car for lap number 4, and man, that one was tough. Alexis has been having some foot pain recently, so I didn't know how that was going to go for her, but she ended up just doing 3 miles. So that was helpful, but leaving my phone and headphones in the car was not helpful for the rest of the 7 miles by myself. So got to the 40-mile mark in right around 8 hours, but man, I'm struggling hard right now. Probably just gonna walk most of the last 10 miles here. It's gonna be slow, but still should be able to finish in 12 hours or less. All right, just at about 10 hours now, and still walking here. Got a little bit less than 3 miles to go, so obviously not going to hit the 10-hour stretch goal, but should still be able to get it in under 11 hours, which is still an hour faster than the baseline goal, which is something to be happy about, I think. Yeah, it's a little difficult, and you know, the first 2-3 laps were going decently well and wasn't feeling too bad, and I was on pace. And then fourth lap, I mean, that's when it all just caught up to me, and I didn't really have that much more to give when it comes to running. But I will say I haven't been just walking leisurely. I've still been, you know, putting in effort and trying to walk quickly. I think a lot of my miles have been between 15 and 16 minutes, so definitely not a slow walk, I would say, by any means. And I guess just trying to get some positives out of the current situation and keep a little bit of a positive mindset as I close in these last 2 or 3 miles. just about there. Here we go, 50 miles in 10 hours, 33 minutes, 38 seconds. Below 11-minute mile for that last mile, which I'm really happy about. Probably got a quarter to a half mile left to the car. I'm probably gonna walk close to that. The last mile I ran, and my legs didn't feel too bad. It felt about the same as when I was walking, maybe even slightly better, but I was just out of breath, breathing a bit heavy, chest was tight, stomach was tight, so really glad I walked it in last 10 miles here. And like I said, it wasn't a super slow walk either. I was, pressing the pace on that walk, and at a few miles, I think like 48 or 49, it might have been below 15 minutes, and I did 0 running during that walk, so pretty happy with that, despite the fact that didn't meet the 10-hour stretch goal. Still gave it a good go and pushed the last 10 miles still, and didn't give up, which I'm really happy with. Obviously, I have Alexis to thank for that, for talking to me. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back to the car and sitting down and getting home for sure. All right, almost home. Total time for the run was 10 hours, 38 minutes. And that was 50.31 miles, so average pace of right around 12:40 per mile. So honestly, in terms of elapsed pace, not all that far off of the 10-hour goal, because 10 hours would be 12 minutes per mile. And then in terms of actually moving time, was only 10 hours 11 minutes, so that was even closer. But obviously I'm treating it like a race, I guess, in terms of elapsed time being what matters. But I made it. Wasn't the prettiest, didn't go exactly to plan, but honestly it went fairly well to plan, as good as those things can go sometimes. And so now I have to prepare for the next challenge, which is getting up 2 flights of stairs to my apartment with all of my stuff, because I had the vest, I had some extra water and snacks, and then I have some extra clothes in case I got wet. It was supposed to rain maybe, so I brought some extra clothes in case I got wet or cold or something like that. So I have to get all that stuff up 2 flights of stairs, which maybe I'm just being dramatic about it, but it's not gonna be fun, let's just say that. So it's been about 8 days since I finished up the 50-mile run, and I just wanted to reflect a little bit on it. I would say, first of all, really happy that I completed it in under 11 hours. My base goal, like I said, was 12 hours. Stretch goal was 10 hours. So didn't quite achieve that stretch goal, but it is a stretch, and that definitely pushed me to be a little bit more aggressive and push and just try to do as well as I could. So I think it's good to have stretch goals, even if they are pretty difficult to achieve or maybe outside of the realm of what you can achieve at this point in time. I definitely was challenged a lot between miles 30 and 50 and had a lot of mental challenges as well, just getting through that and breaking it down and convincing myself to continue. Like I said in the video, I really wanted to quit after mile 40, to be honest. I was out my car and it was like, oh, I can just go home right now. But I talked to Alexis on the phone and she convinced me to keep going, and I'm really glad she did that, and I'm really glad I kept going, even though, like I said, pretty much just walked the last lap, but it was a quick walk and I still got it done, and I'm still proud of that effort, I would say. So all in all, pretty happy with how it went. The next thing I'm going to be doing is the annual birthday run. This will be the 3rd annual birthday run coming up in about a month and a half. That'll be 24 miles this year. So I wouldn't say it's going to be easy, because I'll definitely be going, or at least trying to go, at a faster pace than I did this run, but I definitely have more confidence going into this year's birthday run than I have in past years, since
I think the past 2 years when I did the birthday run, it was the furthest distance I had run in my life, and now I've ran, over double that distance. So that definitely gives me some confidence, and so I'm looking forward to that and sharing that with you guys as well. If you have made it to the end of the video, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one.